assembling our angle wall cabinet or your corner cabinet. First, we want to make sure that we have all the components that we'll need for today's assembly. You should have your door package, your angle wall cabinet box package. Should also have a piece of our patent pending solid wood edge stiles and rails. You want to make sure that you have also gotten your customized hangrail system. It's going to make it very easy for us to mount our cabinets to our walls once we've finished assembling them. For today's assembly, you're going to want to have your power drill, your rubber mallet. You're also going to want to have a hammer, and then both a Phillips and a flathead screwdriver. Go ahead and get this out of the way. Alright, first we're going to start with our hangrail mounts. Those are going to be your small pieces of wood that you found in your cabinet box package. If you want, you can go ahead and use a drill to go ahead and make the holes for your screws. For those of you who don't have those types of things at home, I'm going to show you how to do it with just your hammer, your screws, and your power drill. Okay, so we're going to want to grab your measuring tape and a pencil. You want to make sure that you are using the flat, somewhat shiny edge of your piece, not the piece that shows the wood inside. We're going to measure 4 inches inward from the end of our piece, and we're going to make a mark. You're also going to want to make sure that you have a center hole on that little line there. If you want to measure it to make sure that it's really precise, go ahead and do that. If you want to eyeball it and that's what you're comfortable with, go right ahead. We're going to want to do that on all 4 pieces. You can do that individually, or if you're confident in just kind of eyeballing it all together, go ahead and do it that way. Just make sure that you have 4 inches in and about the middle on each of those. Okay, now to go ahead and get us started, you're going to want to grab your screws, you're going to put it into the wood, take your hammer, give it a few good taps. You want it in there securely enough that you've got in up to about the 1st or 2nd thread there, so that when we start to screw them in, they're going to grip the wood nicely for us. Okay. The easiest way to do that is going to be to tap your screws into each piece of your hangrail mounts, and then go back and screw them all in at once. Make sure that you're using your power drill at about a 90-degree angle. A little bit of pressure because you really want these to go in straight and snug. Okay. All right. Go ahead and do that on each of your hangrail mounts. Let's go ahead and set those aside. And you're going to want to grab your A and B panels. Whichever one you start with doesn't really make a difference. You're going to want to have it on the outside, the side that shows the holes for your cam locks. We're going to put a hangrail mount at the top and bottom edge on each panel here. So there are a couple different ways that we can attach these to our panels. I'm going to show you both. The first one is just to use your own body weight to hold your hangrail mount in place. Make sure all of your edges are even, top and sides. Go ahead, press down. Screw that right in there. If you are having difficulty holding that in place while you're screwing it in, there's another way that we can do this as well. You're going to take your hangrail mount. If you choose to brace yourself on your table, make sure that you do not screw it into your table. Just go ahead and screw it through to the other side. Want to have it sticking out just a little bit on the other side there. Okay. So let's line it up. let's take our hammer, just like we did when we were making the screw holes on our handrail mounts. Give it a good tap so it just settles into that panel a little bit. That's going to make it easier for some of you to get traction there and for you to keep it in place. And just go ahead and screw it in just like you did on the last one. Make sure that you do screw it in all the way, your screws are all the way in, and that you don't have a gap in between your handrail mount and your panel. Okay. We're going to do the exact same thing on our other panel. And again, these are your A and B panels. Go ahead and line them up. Screw them right in. Alright, now we're going to take our A panel. You want to make sure that the holes for mounting your cabinets to the wall are toward the top here. Your groove is going to be facing toward the inside of your cabinet. B panel, same thing. Your mounts for your holes for mounting your cabinet to the wall are going to be toward the top. Move toward you. Okay. Go ahead and get our cam screws. We're going to pop those right in. I like to start them off by screwing them in by hand. Go back, finish them all with my power drill at once. It's going to make it a little easier for you, a little quicker. Remember, 90-degree angle, a little bit of pressure so you don't strip your screws. Set my A panel just to the side for a minute here. Again, make sure that your D panel or B panel, your groove is facing towards you, and that you know where your top edge is. You're going to want to take your D panel, it's going to be the bottom panel of your cabinet. Make sure the holes for your cam locks are facing outward. Groove is going to line up with the groove on your B panel. Okay, let's go ahead and grab one of our solid wood edge rails here. Go ahead and make sure it's nice and lined up. Go ahead and just tap that right in there. Beautiful. Make sure it's nice and lined up. If you're a little off center, just give it a tap from whichever side with your rubber mallet. Now, if it's easier for you to tap your edge rail on while it's kind of in place, go ahead and do it that way. If you think it might be a little easier for you to go ahead and do it while it's on a flat surface like this, go ahead and do it before you pop it on. Again, just make sure that you line it up best you can. Go ahead, pop it right in there. You don't need to be afraid to give it some enthusiasm. You want to make sure it's in there nice and snug. And clearly this is some quality 3/4 inch plywood. It's solid, it's not, you know, anything that's gonna just crumble under the pressure there. It's not particle board. Really beautiful materials used in these cabinets. Okay, you're not gonna see a groove on your top panel here, which is gonna be your C panel. So just make sure that the holes for your cam locks are facing outward. Okay, now let's go ahead, bring our A panel back. Make sure once again, the holes for mounting your cabinet on the wall are toward the top here. Go ahead, just fit that right into our grooves. Make sure you're putting it on the right side. It's going to be the side facing towards you currently. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and move this kind of to the side now. Let's grab our E panels. You are going to notice that your E panels are reversible. You can put them on either side, you're still going to be fine. Okay. Grab some of our cam screws. I'm going to do the exact same thing that I did on the A and B panels. I'm going to go ahead and start them off by hand, go back, finish them all at once with my power drill. All right, let's go ahead and get all those tightened up. Go ahead and grab our solid wood edge stiles now. We're going to do the exact same thing that we did with our rails. Beautiful thing about these edges here is that you're not sticking it on with tape. It's not some little strip of cardboard or anything. It's a beautiful solid wood edge that's really going to customize the look of your cabinet. You can really see the quality of the materials that we're using here. All right, so let's go ahead and grab one of our E panels, line everything up, pop it right in. Alright, so you want to make sure that you're not seeing a lot of any space between your edges. You want to make sure that everything's flush and lined up. If you need to use your rubber mallet to go ahead and give it a little tap in there, go right ahead. Or you can smack it with the heel of your hand like I'm choosing to do right now. Beautiful. All right. So you should see a little groove in the top of your cabinet on the back here. That's where we're going to put our F panel. Make sure that the side that has the little extended edge here is facing toward you when you try to insert this. All right. Go ahead, just wiggle that right down in there. You want to make sure that it does make it all the way into the groove, so if you need to smack it with your mallet a little bit, go ahead. If it's giving you a little resistance, go ahead on the inside of your cabinet there, make sure that it is lining up in the groove on the bottom. Give it another go. There we go, beautiful. All right, so this time we're gonna go ahead and pop our cam locks in. You're gonna wanna make sure when you pick up your cam locks that you see the little plus and minus. You're gonna make sure that that little plus and minus there is facing toward your cam screw. So if your cam screw is coming down through here, you're gonna want your plus and minus facing up this way. Turn clockwise to lock them in place. We're gonna do that all the way around. Great thing about these cam screws and cam locks are that they allow you to get the same solid construction in your cabinet that you would if you were using a nail gun and wood glue, but it makes it a lot easier for those of you at home who don't want to mess with all of those things. It's still going to be just as secure, just as solid. Good few cam locks on your top and bottom. So just take a minute, make sure you got all of them in there. Go ahead and do it on the back of your cabinet there. Just flip it around to our other end. Make sure that you don't forget that final side. Go ahead and roll your cabinet over. You're going to have 3 more on that other back panel. We've done that. Go ahead, flip our cabinet upward. And again, as you're flipping your cabinet around, you're really going to notice that it's a solid quality construction. All right, let's grab some of our screws. We're going to secure our back panel by screwing your screws right into those 6 holes, 3 on one side, 3 on the other. Grab our shelf supports. We're just going to go ahead and pop all of those in. One of the many customizable features of your cabinet is that you can choose to put your shelf supports in any of the numerous pre-drilled holes there for you. Whatever your kitchen needs are, whatever you're going to be putting in the cabinet, just choose the holes that you put them in based on your needs. And you can pop them in and out, so if you choose to reorganize, pop them right back out, put them where you want them, and you're good to go. Alright, once you've got those in there, go ahead and grab our shelves. I'm going to show you what I feel is the easier way to get your shelves in there. Instead of trying to put a shelf in at a time, I'm going to go ahead, maneuver both my shelves in there at once. And then I'm going to go ahead and position my top shelf and then my bottom shelf. So, the last step right here is we're going to want to attach our door. Again, you have yet another option of which side you want your door to go on. You have pre-drilled holes on both sides. I'm going to go ahead and put it on this side. You can also put your door on 2 different ways. You can go ahead, place your hinges in, screw them in, secure them, and then screw your door and hinges into your cabinet. I'm actually going to go ahead and put my hinges in first because it's going to be a little easier for you guys to see what I'm doing. Okay, so let's grab some of the screws that came with your hinges. Find those pre-drilled holes. Now, if you leave these screws a little bit loose as you're going along, that's going to allow you to adjust your door up or down depending on your needs, and then go ahead and screw them in the rest of the way once you have your door at your desired height. Same thing with your bottom hinge. We're going to go ahead and attach our door to our hinges. Go ahead and just pop your hinges right in those pre-drilled spaces. Just grab our screws. Just pop those right in there. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead, adjust my door up slightly, go back, tightening my screws. Alright, now these beautiful hinges here, as well as being soft closing, are also 6-way adjustable. These 2 screws here are going to allow you to go ahead and shift your door in, out, right, left. So you're really going to be able to get your door exactly the way you want it. You're going to see this beautiful soft close here, which means there are going to be no more slam doors in your kitchen. And then those beautiful handrail mounts that we put on there, you're going to just set them like so on your handrail system when you go to secure those to the wall. And that completes the assembly of our angle wall cabinet.